bounce, pass. Sports. Pass, kick, pass. Dunk it.
What?
Funk it. Sure. Serve it. Here. Work it. Jocular. We're about to get jocular.
Literally my favorite song on earth. Welcome to Jocular, the show where three best buds gossip about women's sports. My name is ER Fightmaster, they, them.
Katie Kershaw, she, her.
And folks, Tien can't be here with us today. R.I.P.
Okay, you can't do that because it sounds like she's dead.
Well, I assume she was dead, or else why would she miss the pod?
Okay, she has a very good reason. We just can't talk about it.
I can't really imagine a good reason.
Okay,
but
it's a great reason.
Tien,
We'll see her soon.
Tien trans, she, her. Also absent. You guys, we have an incredibly special guest joining us today. This is a close friend of mine, a member of the TOGETHXR team that created the Everyone Watches Women's Sports t-shirt that has gone truly viral, and the spiritual mayor of the WNBA, and currently the tannest person I know. Please give it up for Justine Brown.
Wow.
Justine, what are your pronouns?
An intro. She, her.
Thank you. And what
She,
do
her,
you
and
do?
tan.
She,
Her and tan.
I just happened to mention that I don't know why I mentioned my lack of tanness before this podcast, but I immediately regret it.
Tannest
Thank you.
person I know. Have you been on vacation recently?
Sadly, yes.
Where'd you
You
go?
wouldn't be able to tell by my legs.
No, you look a little burned.
Yeah, there's
Well,
some
no,
red.
not that recent, okay? It was Mexico, and it was like at least 3 weeks ago.
That's recent.
That is recent.
Shit.
My last vacation was around 2 years ago.
Wow.
Okay, well, we need to work on that.
Yeah.
Brag.
Brag.
Brag. Never leave. Brag. Wait, no, I do need to.
Why were you in Mexico?
I was there for a wedding
Okay, fine.
directly after the Final Four. So, like, what I cannot keep track of dates and times, so I actually have no idea when that was.
Heterosexual or homosexual?
It was a heterosexual wedding with a lot of homosexuals at it.
Okay.
in
That's
attendance.
fun.
That's usually a good sign.
Yeah.
I don't know about a lot, but there was a fair amount.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair
You
amount better
didn't
than
feel
none.
like you were standing out.
Oh, no, it was diverse. It was diverse across the board. So, you know, those are always wins. So stupid.
That's always a win.
Folks, today we're going to share some sneaker drop updates, and we're going to completely roast a man. But first, Justine is going to tell us about what she does with TOGETHXR, and we're going to ask her a bunch of questions.
Yeah.
What you have to start us off at like the ground floor of what do you do at TOGETHXR?
Yes.
Okay.
Title.
This is the same thing my mom asked me, and she still gets it very wrong, and it's because it's a not easy answer. I guess technically, per title, I lead creative development and talent relations. Per job, I kind of have dotted lines to like all parts of the company, which includes like creative development in our originals, which is TOGETHXR content that lives on our platforms, mid-form, such as YouTube, etc. And then we have a studio arm that does premium content and sells upstream, and sometimes I will develop on that or help attach talent. And then we have branded content.
Okay, this is the same thing that like when Jess
Robertson.
I always
Yeah,
say
yeah.
Robinson, and I think it's
Robertson.
because she's giving off kind of like Mrs. Robinson. Jess Robertson, when we had her on the show, she does a good job at pitching together like elevator style. And I
yeah.
think because you guys do so much, I'm going to ask you to like give your elevator pitch. What does the company do?
We tell stories around female athletes and culture, and we do that at all levels, from like a premium level to an originals level. I think that'd be the most thing, is that we're centering women, we're centering female athletes. We're an intersectional company, so we like to make sure we're trying to highlight many people who maybe stories haven't been told. And then I think, we're just creating. I think if I could like say one thing, we want to be like the best content company in women's sports, and I would say that would be what we're aiming for. But one other thing I do is our merch. So everyone watches women's sports.
What that has been like
Huge.
the most. Like that shirt is as prevalent on my feed as Caitlin Clark is right now.
100%.
Hell yeah to that.
And hell yeah!
yeah.
How tell us about how this happened.
So I mean, obviously, I think a big part of women's sports in general is those of us who have been in it and lived it and breathed it, which like I have been doing since I mean, I went to the University of Tennessee and worked for Pat Summitt in 2006.
I need to know everything.
We gonna be hitting that.
Yeah.
I need to know it.
Like, I eat, sleep, breathe, whether it's real. You know, it's not like, oh, this is cool, this is trendy. It's like, this is something I always knew, always believed in. And I think when you get into, like, the inner workings of women's sports, it always was that. And nobody was begging for anything. Nobody, like, even when you hear the WNBA ask for raises and, like, ask for more money, and people are like, they don't deserve as much money as the guys, they don't sell as many tickets, blah, blah, blah. It's like, no. Like, look at what they're actually asking for, which is like a higher revenue share on the revenue that they make, things like that. And so, women's sports has always been like, look, either you believe and you get it and you're on board, or you don't. And we're not over here begging the person who tells people to get in the kitchen to, like, come watch. Like, that's not the ask. And so,
in fact, don't watch.
Yeah, in fact,
I'd prefer it. Yeah.
But a huge comment in, like, everywhere was like, nobody watches women's sports on, like, Bleacher Report or ESPN or wherever it may be. And then when women's sports, particularly like the women's basketball tournament, started blowing up last year and breaking records and hitting selling out games, like, kind of all the pages that supported women's sports in jest would do, like, the SpongeBob capital letter, lower letter, nobody watches women's sports, and show sellouts, which was cute for a minute. And then I just remember I hit our social team one day and I was like, I feel like we're done with that. I feel like we give no attention to these trolls. I feel like if you're here, you know. If you're in the moment, you're living it. Everyone watches women's sports, period. End of discussion.
Perfect.
We don't feed the trolls anymore.
Was it super helpful, do you feel like, to bringing together to more people?
Absolutely. I mean, Barbie called us.
Hell yeah.
And, like, Barbie on their Barbie style page, Barbie wore the shirt on Championship Sunday for the Final Four, and, like, Barbie, like every single one of us grew up with a Barbie of some sort. Like, it was huge.
My brother had NASCAR Barbie, so that's the only Barbie we had in our house. But the minute he got NASCAR Barbie, he took all her clothes off. So
NASCAR bar. So you just got the little clothes and he got the Barbie.
Straight up, because he had asked Santa for a Barbie, and I was like, "You're not bringing that shit in this house." Like, full dyke mode. And so my parents, Santa, compromised by getting NASCAR Barbie. NASCAR for me, Barbie for John. And he ripped her clothes right off just to see her tits. And I was like, oh, this makes more sense.
It's like, I didn't want the Barbie.
And honestly, frankly, fire.
And you're like, okay, fine, more Barbies.
Let's get a few more of those.
Yeah, I had so many fucking Barbies. It was insane. And they were always having sex with each other.
They have to.
And I was, like, grew up watching, like, soap operas with my mom and granny. So I would do, like, crazy storylines, like, it's full detailed, like, this Barbie has amnesia and does not know.
Right.
See, meanwhile, I was just trying to fit mine in the car with straight legs. I was like, how the fuck does this even sit in its seat?
It can't sit in its seat. It cannot
really piss me off.
Well, she shouldn't be seated. She should be in the kitchen. Am I right, you guys?
Yes!
Woo! How many people work it together?
Can I guess?
Sure.
30.
18.
It's definitely somewhere around 30. At this point, I'm not for sure. But when I started, I think I was like 6th or 7th or 8th. Like, we started so small. Yeah, and now it's like, well, wait, what?
You guys have the coolest bosses in sports. Can you name them for us?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Chloe Kim, Olympic snowboarder gold medalist. Simone Manuel, also an Olympic gold medalist. Sue Bird, WNBA legend and Olympic gold medalist 5 times. I don't know why I'm going by Olympics, but
it's important.
It's coming up. It's coming up.
Alex Morgan, who's also won several Olympics and several gold medals.
Wow.
Actually,
amazing.
Gosh, don't quote me. I actually can't remember how many Olympic gold medals they've medaled in the Olympics several times.
Sick.
I mean, more than I have.
Yeah.
Yeah, more than
As of right now, we'll see. Paris is here.
Yeah.
I think it's my year.
Are you entering the breakdancing?
Yes, breaking. I think it's more known as breakdancing. It's breaking.
Excited.
I can't wait. But I need to see the rubric.
This is true.
Like,
Did you see this? That they're adding
what?
they're adding
no,
breakdancing?
yeah, I do. I know that.
Yeah, it's the only new sport.
But I didn't know you knew so much about it.
Well, I have a coworker who, like, is into breaking, and he is so fucking good. He's amazing. And I know he's also been, like, working with some of the people going to the Olympics and, like, I think helping with, I don't know, training and stuff. So I hear about it a lot from him.
Wow.
But breaking fucking rocks. But I need to see the breakdown. Just like with skateboarding, I'm like, what tricks are we doing? Like, what do we count? Because it's so artistic.
I know. I always think that's so interesting about skateboarding, that it's like, isn't it kind of subjective?
No way though, because all those tricks they're different difficulty, right?
Yeah,
so they're
that's
doing
true.
it.
The
It's like
judges are just
figure
really good.
skating.
Yeah.
It's just the outfits are way cooler, and the teenagers can beat you up.
And they're like all
Yeah.
way cooler than me.
Yeah,
And they're like 13.
Yeah.
yeah. If I met like any of them, I think I'd just be like, "What are you?" Yeah,
I shot with Sky Brown and I was like, okay, well, you're cooler than I'll ever be. So I'm just
they're tough, man, and their fashion goes really hard.
It truly does.
Okay, we're gonna ask you some broad questions right now, but it's only because I know that you have a fun sports story. Where did your sports journey start?
Yeah. Geez, in my backyard with my brothers.
Good deal.
Abused probably, but like I definitely remember my brothers were 8 and 10 years older. I definitely remember a time when I went out to the front yard and my brother's high school quarterback, I think, went on to play like in college. And I could be like, can I play catch? Can I play? And finally like, sure. And they just let him chuck a ball at me as hard as he could, and then I couldn't catch it, and then I didn't want to play catch anymore. And I
Oh,
was
look at you! Now you're in the NFL.
yeah, and now I'm in the NFL.
Beautiful.
That's-
Progress.
That's basically the rest of my sports story.
Sorry, I blew that. Yeah.
Yeah,
I should have let you say that
so
part.
then now I play for the Jets.
Oh, fuck.
Nobody would know if I played for the Jets or didn't play for the Jets.
No,
Nobody
you could be a
watches, right?
kicker.
No. Yeah, exactly. So I play for the Jets or the Jaguars.
Oh, thank God.
Nobody's paying attention to them.
No.
No.
Yeah, so I played every sport growing up. I was a softball and basketball player for sure. Played volleyball. Played everything. Literally.
What position in volleyball?
Literally, this is why I quit. I was playing all positions and loved being in the front row. And then I got to be like a sophomore and they're like, you're going to be a libero. And I was like, what does that mean?
Hell
Like, you
no.
play back row only. I'm like, I quit.
Yeah.
And did. And played basketball and softball. My joke is always that I was a softball player that really wanted to be a basketball player. So I put like every effort I had into basketball and very little into softball, and was all state in softball and an all-star in softball, and basketball ended up like no Division I offers here. And so then when it came to like deciding where I was going to go to school, obviously I still had ambitious dreams. Like, you start deciding your junior and senior year and you're playing sports, and there was just not a ton like literally coming in. I was in like a small town in Wisconsin and kind of started getting a little attention in softball my senior year. But by then somebody from nearby where I was from was like, have you ever thought about managing for the University of Tennessee? Because I already knew I liked Pat Summitt. Our high school history teacher was the men's basketball coach or the boys basketball coach. And he's like, always saw my interest in basketball. And he's like, I think you'd really love this book. And he gave me Pat Summitt's book, Raise the Roof. And then he gave me Definite Dozen, and I read both, and I was like, this is my hero. I started watching Tennessee basketball because it was the only game that I remember being able to find on TV. So like Big Tuesday would be like Duke, North Carolina. And then, on mainstream networks in the Midwest, I think that like one time we saw that Tennessee and UConn women's basketball was playing each other, and me and my couple of friends came over, and I'm like, okay, we're going to watch this women's basketball game, and I'm going to pick a team, and you're going to pick a team. And they're like, okay, we're taking UConn. And I'm like, I like the orange and blue. I'm taking Tennessee. And we just would root for them. And then somebody started just like feeding that hobby of mine, giving me tickets to their game in DePaul. And then my AAU teammate, who did play Division I, asked me to come play camp with them one year at Tennessee. It was team camp. And they had to take a player from a different team in order for their coach to be able to coach in the summer. And I went, I like played the best basketball of my life that I've ever played. And then I met this woman, Wendy, who planted the idea of being a manager at Tennessee in my head. Had to literally try out. So I made the Wisconsin All-Star team.
Wait, you had to try out to be a manager?
To be a manager.
Okay.
What does that look
tell us
like?
more.
Because it was the top program in the country. The camps were huge. Everybody wanted to be involved. And I was...
And what year was this, if you don't mind?
2006.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh my God. Can we cut that out?
Yeah, Haley, cut it.
Cut that.
What was it like meeting Pat Summitt?
Oh man. Like maybe still the best moment of my life. Like I think to your point, like I would say that experience probably prepared me to have all the experiences I had in LA, and also to really never be phased being in LA. But I will say that like meeting Pat Summitt, like literally gives me a little bit of butterflies still, that I'm like, I've met everybody at this point.
Yeah.
I had read the books. I had watched a film called The Cinderella Season, which was on HBO, which was about the 98 season that they lost 10 games and still won the national championship, which is literally this year. I was like, oh my gosh, I feel like UConn's on the verge of their Cinderella season. And so I knew that she was intense. And so I went to camp, and, you know, you end up getting like put on some task where you're working with her. And she was larger than life. She was who she said she was. She had the highest of integrity. She was so intense. She was so demanding. And she was also like so caring and so loving and so full of integrity. And man, like every day I'm like so sad she's not still here. Like her counterparts are still coaching. Tara Vanderveer just retired. Gino's still coaching. Like we could at least still be having conversations with her. And she's just been gone for, I mean, what, 10 years? I don't even remember how long now.
I mean, I got to see her coach, and that's always been one of my like proudest moments was like my sister and I got like last minute tickets to a UK like UT game, and I was so excited because she had been my hero. Like I grew up in Kentucky. It was the only Tennessee team we were ever allowed to root for would be the women's basketball team. And she just meant so much. And of course, the person coaching UK at the time was a former player. And to see that dynamic, all of it.
Who was that, Kyra Elsie?
Maybe. I can't remember.
Matthew Mitchell was a GA. He coached there as well. He was a GA under Pat. Kyra Elsie played for Pat. They both coached at Kentucky.
Yeah.
I mean, a million stories, honestly, regarding Pat. That is, like, I could give you a million. Like, number one, she was the most highly regarded person in, like, the state of Tennessee. Like, no joke. She
Without
could, like,
a doubt.
flip an election right now. And then
She was the biggest name in women's sports, I think. Like,
she's an
Hands
absolute
down.
legend.
yes.
Hands down. I was sad. I remember when, I think it was Tara that like surpassed her.
1,000 wins.
And it made me sad.
I know.
Which is so, I should be happy that we're seeing this, but I don't want her name to go away.
I know.
I don't want anything about the way she coached, all of it. Yeah, it's like a very... Yeah.
But the nice thing about a record being broken is that it puts in conversation the record again. You know what I mean?
The person and the
100%.
record,
It was like when Caitlin broke the scoring record this year. We had to have that whole conversation about the player who actually held the scoring record for the NAIA.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
You know what I mean? And,
Yeah.
and like then these people's legacies are being
Absolutely.
It's very
I
true.
think
It's
for
very
Pat,
true.
it's like now we're talking legends. I mean, one person who I think carries her legacy very well is Dawn Staley. I think Dawn still recognizes her as the best to ever do it. And Dawn's like, if I'm even in the conversation of Pat Summit, like I've done my job.
Damn.
And I would bet, and I know she said it, but even still, if you went and asked Dawn, like, who are your greatest heroes and whose legacy would you like to, be compared to? And I don't think she would have any issue of people saying Pat Summit. And man, she was just awesome. She was awesome and she was incredible. And there's just so many good stories. Like, there's funny stories with me personally. I think because of my personality, like I took a lot of the beatings and it was hilarious.
Of course.
And I would also be put forward to take the beatings. Like when we would leave an entire thing on a plane and we're 30 minutes from the airport going to Arkansas.
Jesus Christ.
And the bus has to turn around and the managers are like, who's going to get off? And the coaches sit at the front and it's like coaches, random people in the travel party, managers, players. And I was like, I'll do it. So I get up and I'm just walking and they're facing forward and I walk, like we've turned the bus around and drove 30 minutes back to the airport, which is not fair. Our assistant coach did not tell us that she put something in the closet of the plane, but we were managers. Like you were supposed to know even if you didn't know.
Yeah.
So I walk up and I get off and I go talk to the flight attendant and she hands me, like, because we took charters everywhere, and she hands me the bag and I was like, thank you so much. I get back on and I'm like, okay, just walk by. Maybe I can just walk by. She's like, excuse me. I was like, ma'am. She was like, what? Can you tell me some? How many managers we have on this trip? I'm like, 4. She's like, and why do we bring this many managers on this trip if we're going to have something forgotten on the plane? We're going to have to turn around 30 minutes. I was like, no excuses, ma'am, because I knew better. Yeah. Even though I was like, we didn't even know the bag was on the plane.
Right,
I was like,
right.
no excuses. That's not going to get me anywhere. So I was like, no excuses. She's like, okay, well, I reckon you guys will never forget anything or we'll just bring no more managers on trips. And I was like, well, you guys wouldn't survive. But she can hear me now, but I'm like, I would love to see the day when they took no managers. But as I'm walking back, as I'm just like, I can see like the manager snickering. I can see the players are just having a fucking heyday with it. They think it's the funniest thing that's ever happened. And I'm just like, fuck all of you.
But you know what? You have that story and they don't.
Exactly.
You were at Tennessee at a truly incredible time.
Yes.
And you were a manager while one of the best players of all time was playing basketball.
Yeah.
Candace Parker.
Yeah. Yeah.
How was that?
Incredible. I think like Candace was 2 years older than me, but she redshirted her freshman year. She played a year, and then she left technically with a year left of eligibility as a junior, even though she was a senior in school. And Candace and I developed a really close bond pretty early. I guess to get back to, you asked how you become a manager. I think another thing, like for me, was like basketball experience. So, I mean, I can't talk Pat Summitt all day, but like, and this is not a brag, this is more like it did not happen, but Pat at one point asked me to walk on, and I was nowhere near good enough. But like the reason for that was like, okay, here's somebody in our circle of trust. When we need an extra body, when you go on the road, you can use them in practice to like run through a drill or run through a walkthrough. Like there's reason to just have that extra body on a roster versus as a manager. And so Candace and I, like, when she wants me to rebound, she's like, will you rebound for me? Because I like had played, and sometimes it's just like, there's managers who keep the clock and there's managers who rebound the basketball, and everybody's capable, but whatever. And we started getting close. And one thing about Candace, she was great because she put in the work all the time. She was in the gym 24/7. And when I say 24/7, if she texted me at 11 p.m., I was like, yo, you want to hit the gym? I was in there. Midnight, we were in there. Like, we were quite literally shooting in the gym. And then, like, what was really cool about our story, like, to this day, we're best friends. To this day, our family is family. My uncle and her dad live, like, a mile apart from each other. And her brothers are like my brothers, all of the above. My nieces are like her nieces. And I think, like, what was also cool is I'm originally from Oswego, Illinois, and Candace is from Naperville, Illinois, which are both suburbs of Chicago, very near to each other. And so we actually grew up in like the same area, going to the same Portillo's, going to the same mall, Fox Valley Mall. And like, I think a lot of times we didn't realize, but like we were connecting on a certain level because we were both like Midwest kids. And we just, we stuck that out. And then Candace got drafted to the WNBA. She won Rookie of the Year and MVP in the same season. And like, I remember the night after we won that second championship, like her celebrating and having a good time, and then also crying because she was like, what am I going to do? Because the WNBA draft used to literally be the next day. So she had less than 24 hours to decide if she was going to declare for this draft.
Jesus.
She was the first player to leave early. She won both of those. And like, we experienced all that. I remember like when Nike was courting her getting this giant box of Nike stuff and be like, look what all I got. And then she went to Adidas, and then they gave her even more. And like, she ultimately signed with Adidas. Like, all of that I lived through. And then she went and played in the WNBA. She moved out to LA, came to visit. I mean, I literally sent her the pregnancy test for her child, Layla, who's now 15. And I went to visit. I would come to visit, and then I got an internship at Fox Sports Radio in LA and lived with her my first summer in LA, and I've now been here ever since.
Insane.
I love that. And
That's
Candace
beautiful.
is now finishing this like Adidas journey. Candace is now
The president of women's basketball at Adidas. I'm just like, bro, just let me get like one side gig with you. Like, this is getting ridiculous.
We all need a side gig with
period.
her. And with that, we are going to go to a quick break.
We're about to get jocular. Bounce, bounce, pass. Sports. Pass, kick, pass. Jocular.
and we're back.
Okay.
Wow. Well, speaking of Candace being the new president of Adidas Women's Side.
Adidas.
Also, is it Adidas?
Adidas.
Yeah, it's Adi. Adidas.
Adidas. Of course, like my nephew
German.
is like high school, like in that phase, and he's always like, it's actually Adidas.
You're
So
like,
I
don't care.
I can't hear it without hearing his voice going Adidas. That's all.
Adidas. Why?
Adidas.
Inside the brand, everybody calls it Adi.
Adi.
Really?
Yeah.
Now that's cute.
Yeah.
That's really cute.
Okay, I guess I can. I'm bored with that. Justine, we know you love sneakers. Actually, your style is impeccable. And so we wanted to talk to you about the new merch drops for.
There was so many,
Yeah.
just this week.
Yeah, there was. Which one are we talking about?
Well, we got a bunch of them, right? So
Sabrina 2.
yeah, the Sabrina 2 came out.
The Asia 1.
The Asia
Yeah.
one. That partnership launch was amazing. The sweatshirt, everything about it was. What did it say? I have a shoe.
Of course, Asia's got a shoe.
Of course.
Yeah. Of course, I got a shoe. Is that what the T-shirt said?
Or it's sweatshirt she was wearing. I think so. But it was so, it was perfect. Perfect way to do it.
I think the Asia one, I think, is one of those things that was obviously a very long time coming. But I think, like, the hardest part has been that I think she spoke to in her press conference and said that, like, good things take time, is that, like, this has been in the works and she knew that, but she wanted to be in a place where she wanted it to be. And you have fans who are like, what's the deal? Which obviously, I mean, 2-time MVP, like, of anybody on their roster, Asia's shoe should have absolutely been number one. Jordan, she works for Wieden & Kennedy. She's an incredible copywriter. I know she had a little bit to do with this. I think she's really dope. I think that's really cool. And I think this Asia moment speaks to, like, this audience that's forever ready to be fed and ready to opt in. And I think, like, despite that it was delayed, I hope that it just means the success of this launch is that much greater. And so
I think so. She's even more of an icon now.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
Yeah,
So I'm really excited for Asia. I think that this is going to be incredible. I think the fact that they're also giving her clothing and apparel, I think, like, she is very much a woman of the culture, and, like, people want to emulate what she does. And so I think that's going to be really sick. Super excited for that drop.
How hands-on do you think she's been?
I mean, I think with any signature shoe, like, the players are always informing the storytelling around it, which Nike likes to do a lot of. And I think they're also always informing, like, you know, colorways or styles that they like. So I would say, like, there's nothing going out the door that she hasn't said yes to, typically. But, like, obviously the design of a sneaker takes, like, the skill of a person who really designs sneakers. So to a certain point, I don't know what people think they're doing. They're not, like, sewing. But yeah, I think it's so dope. And I think, like, people had to be patient, but I hope that means, like, people buy this shoe tenfold. And, like, to that same point, Sabrina is one who people are like, well, Sabrina didn't have the accolades. Why did she get it? Well, Sabrina went to Phil Knight's school. Like, that tells you everything you need to know. Phil Knight.
That's a great point. I do forget about that.
Sophomore, junior, breaking records, and Phil was like, you're coming to Nike. So these shoes quite literally take time. Producing a shoe does take years at sometimes. And so, like, the timeliness of it, hopefully, in the success of this launch and the care they've put into it, it's made up for, because Asia deserves all of it.
The silhouette of the shoes now are so different than when we were born. I feel like the
like,
shoe
make
used
them
to go
higher. No, go to my knee.
100%. It was all the way up the fucking leg, and it was like under the guise of like ankle support.
Yeah, like, we needed, like, clearly, which comes in the base of the shoe, not the ankle of the shoe.
Which I didn't know.
We didn't know at the time. There was no way we could have known. Absolutely no way we could have known.
I was still rolling the shit out of my ankle.
Of course.
These
and
ankles are, like, Gumby now.
Because what did you have? You had we had the, what are they called? You know what I'm talking about? You do, like, pre-wrap. And then you'd tape.
Oh my gosh.
And then you'd wear the, like, actual, like, cloth ankle wraps. And then you'd put your shoe on.
And then your feet would cramp.
Yeah, of course.
So stupid.
What was
It wasn't
supposed
stupid,
to do?
it's
It was
just
being
so funny.
squeezed to death.
Yeah. It's like, you don't need the outside of your foot, right? Because it's squished in this tape.
Okay, if you were making a signature shoe, though.
Ooh, Katie, good question.
Thank you. I'll go ahead and say mine would be a clog. It would be about comfort.
I love a mule.
Yeah, I would think fun colors, breathable, but you could have an insert in case it's... I basically am describing the shoe I'm wearing right now. But it would definitely be a clog.
Okay.
Yeah. And?
Well, I guess if I'm talking, like, I'm making a shoe to play basketball in, that would be completely different. But if I could choose anything, it'd definitely be a lifestyle shoe.
Yes. Yeah.
I think I like monochromatic right now. I think there would be a bit of, like, mixing a color and a neutral for one. Something like that. I mean, my dream was actually to be a sneaker designer, no joke. That's all I used to do as a kid, was, like, draw and color shoes.
Oh,
so
yeah.
There's a million sketches out there that aren't that good. But I would love
Send
to
them,
do
share
that.
them.
Please, we'll post them on the Instagram. Send us.
Dream.
We'll
is
get
to
you that
design
job.
a sneaker one day for sure.
I'm gonna tell you, Katie, mine would be a beautiful loafer
Yes, it would
that
be.
you could somehow attach a top part to, and it became a cowboy boot.
Ooh!
I feel like we're, like, 6 months away from that being in the market.
Now that I've said it, it's 3 months.
Yeah.
They're gonna have to drop it
great.
fast.
Now.
Trademark, copyright.
We're like, shoes take years, except for this cowboy boot loafer. It'll be out in 3 months.
Yeah, so you can just unzip.
Is it a zip?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I want it to be a hidden zip because I don't like a
like a fashion zipper.
Yeah, we don't need
It's function. It's function.
We don't need to see
The
the
most disturbing thing to me that ever has happened is when the zippers are on when there's no like fly cover on pants and
Ooh.
it's just a zipper.
What if like
psychos.
It gives me the ick.
It's disgusting.
It gives me the ick.
and the zipper tag is just a circle?
It gives
like
me the
that?
actual ick.
And I'm sorry to whoever is currently wearing that. You look great,
You don't
sweetie.
give me the ick.
You know,
You
it's not you. It's not you. And we're fooling
No, it
around.
is you.
All right.
Okay.
And we're back in.
And we're back. That wasn't a break. That was just an awkward pause.
Who do you think? I mean, I feel
Wait,
like.
can I make one comment on the shoe thing before we move on?
Yeah,
Yes.
of course.
Is
And
it
I
on
don't
the
know if I'm
Kofor?
allowed to say this.
Oh, you're not talking about my Kopers. You're talking
Whoa.
about.
Okay.
Oh, is that what they are? Kofers.
Yeah.
Kofers.
Wow. That gives me the ick.
Okay, Bofers. I don't know what to.
Okay,
I'm
Bofers is
workshopping
better.
it.
Bofers is good because it's both. They're Bofers.
Bo-
What about
Loafers.
low boys?
Both.
Loaf boys.
Cowboy boot loafer.
Yeah, but they're not. But low boys is a thing, right?
Loaf boys?
Kofers is disgusting.
What about loaf boys?
I say Kofer and then I want to
Cowfer.
throw. I like gag a little bit.
Calfers
Okay,
is
sorry.
good.
You were
Okay.
saying something legitimate.
Yeah.
I can't. No, I was actually going to say, and I don't even know if I can say this, but I'm going to try to say this diplomatically. Caitlin Clark got her $28 million shoe deal.
God damn.
Snaps all around, record breaking, most they've ever paid a women's basketball player ever. Probably one of their highest female contracts ever. Great. That said, when I see these male contracts that are $100 million, blah, 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 and they're whoever, Paul George, James Harden, I know like one's Nike, one's Adidas. I'm like, but market value wise, 8 years, $28 million, did she not still take a women's discount?
Oh, 100% she did.
And she can't negotiate until she's 30.
Oh
That's
my God.
insane.
So I personally, as her agent, may not have taken that deal.
No, I mean, I've seen a lot of people saying like how undervalued she was and that contract was. And we were all amazed with like, here's a woman athlete, 28 million, but it should be so much more.
If I'm her agent, I would think I would rather go like 4 years, 15 million, 4 years, 14 million.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which I get, like, okay, let's say it doesn't, and the buzz wears off, which God forbid, like none of us want to see that. Then okay, then good, they got the 28. But there's this other side of me that's like, get that money and then be still in your really, really sharp prime to renegotiate again and get like 3 shoe contracts before it's over. Now you're in the market for 2. I don't know. That's just my take that I've been wanting to share.
Do you think the buzz will
No,
wear
I
off?
agree.
Do I think? Oh no, I think that I wish her fans a little bit, and also I'm a fan, but these true blue out of nowhere Caitlin Clark fans would take the pressure off a little bit, because I know that people have been criticized for saying it would be an adjustment and be whatever, but like the reality is like it's way faster, it's way stronger.
Yeah.
It's not the Big Ten. And if it takes her a little bit of time to adjust to those speeds, so be it. Like she already had a huge, really good game, but like every day she's going to get better with that speed, the pace of the game, the way they're guarding her, the defenses. Like it's a way more complex game. They're all very skilled. They're all very strong. They're all very fast. And so I look at it and I'm like, give her the grace to be
Absolutely.
great. Because like the last rookies, okay, they're like, she's number 1 overall pick. It's because her team sucks. And I'm like, no, it's not because her team sucks. Have you heard of Victor Wembanyama? He was the number 1 overall pick and probably a generational talent in the NBA. Do you know what the Spurs were this season? Dead fucking last.
I know, and that's the most basketball built human being I've ever seen in my entire
and they'll
fucking
be
life.
good. But at the end of the day, the last time a number 1 overall pick in any league greatly altered their team, I mean, in the WNBA, I think their names were Maya Moore and Candace Parker.
Yeah.
Well, and I think even the people that were saying like it just fucking sucks you went to a bad team. It's like, did you forget how the draft works?
Yeah, that's literally
That's how it works. It's how it's designed.
That's how leagues stay fit. Is you send the best player to the worst team. Like,
yeah, and you see if they can build an entire franchise from the ground back up.
Yeah.
That takes time. I mean, the Aces are a perfect example. The Aces got Jackie Young, and they got Kelsey Plum, then they got Jackie Young, they got Asia Wilson, 3 back-to-back years, number 1 overall picks.
Insane.
That was 2018, 2019, 2020, don't quote me, maybe 2019. When did they win their first championship? It was not the next year.
Nope.
And it wasn't the year after that. And
Nope.
they're great. They're so great. But like people let them get better and become one of the most dominant franchises we've ever seen. Like give it some time.
I gotta call out Kelsey Plum's recent tunnel fit.
Oh my
Lord.
God. Revenge outfit.
She looked built as fuck.
It was insane. I like pass it around so many group chats, if I'm being honest.
I'm just happy that I'm seeing so many tunnel fits because that was like not a thing like 2 years ago. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The girlies are out here. And they got stylists and they got money in their pockets.
And
And the ones that don't have stylists, it's an emergency.
it's an emergency.
Either you have a stylist and you have style, or you absolutely need to call 911.
But also, one last thing about Caitlin having an adjustment to the league. Isn't that what we want? We want the league to
be great.
To be great. That
we
should.
we as true basketball fans do, as does Caitlin. She's a fucking competitor. Jeff Teague coming out
She's
and being
so
like,
competitive.
They should be going easy on her. They should want her to be great. I'm like, Jeff Teague, in what fucking league do people let a rookie walk in and just, you know what, honestly, be great? Like, we're not even gonna guard you today. Just be great. Like, no, she's
That's
a
not
competitor.
how it works. She wouldn't want that.
But people are
want this league to be
underestimating the
great.
league. I think it's because a lot of
It's
people haven't
proving
seen
yes,
the
how
WNBA.
good the league is.
Yes.
It is 100%. And people have a lot of people. You should go, listener. You should go to a WNBA game because it will really click in your
I
brain
think
how
these listeners
big
know.
they. And I hope they do. If you have the chance to go, you should because they're so. It's actually so much more power than you're expecting. You can't really tell on TV. And
I would honestly say they're more physical than the men in a lot of ways. They are so fucking feisty and physical.
I agree.
2 years ago when we went to the All-Star game in Vegas, who was it that dunked?
Sylvia Fowles in her last All-Star.
Oh my God. And that, I don't think you would have known watching at home, but it like shook the floor.
Oh, and it stopped everybody in their tracks. Everybody was like, what the...
Yeah, that was fucking cool.
Yeah. No, I mean, they're great. And I think that is the biggest point is like, this is good basketball. That's good. And Caitlin is great. She's so fucking good. Like, she's already doing very well.
She's
Just
doing
let
so well.
her team find their groove. Let her find her rhythm. Like, stop.
And also they're commenting on like, I see a lot of shit fed to me, I think, by like male accounts about her being a bad sport and yelling at refs and shit. And I'm like, I'm sorry. Like, I'm a Diana Taurasi fan.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
She
Like,
told refs to meet her in the elevator in the bubble.
that's absolutely
Or
badass.
meet her in the lobby because she knew she would see them at the hotel. They all talk shit. Like, and also like,
So do the men. Like,
yeah,
fucking
not even
everybody
to compare,
does.
but like, it's a sport.
It's a part of the game.
Nobody who plays sports cares that people talk shit.
You have to let people get hyped.
Yeah.
That's
You should
all.
hear what they say if they were all mic'd. It's wild.
Oh, I would love that.
Wild.
But we do actually need to cut
Take
to a break.
Bounce, bounce, pass. Pass, kick, pass. Jocular. We're about to get jocular.
And
We're
back. Really
Really-
atonal. sounds.
really bad. And we're
Wow.
back. If we need to just scrap all of that.
No,
and we're
keep
back.
it because that was a really interesting study and there was actually no harmony at all.
No, none. I try to avoid it at all costs.
and I wasn't doing
I've
it.
never met Harmony before, so I don't even know how to tell you.
You don't know that bitch.
My middle name is Tone Deaf.
Ooh, that's a
really
beautiful name.
I
Long
know.
Justine.
Genderless.
Deaf.
Tone deaf
Brown.
brown.
My
Yeah.
parents were really into music, and they're like, "You need to stop singing."
But it's DEF, right?
Yeah, like most deaf.
Right.
Def Jam.
You guys, this is our favorite segment, and this
And
is
you all asked for it.
this is when we roast an absolute moron. And today we're gonna roast a man. We're gonna roast Harrison Butker.
Oh my God.
Yeah, we're talking
That's
about
God, his God, our God, this God.
our God is an awesome God and hates
He
Harrison Butker.
reigns from heaven above
Our
with
God
wisdom.
is an awesome God.
Our God is an awesome
Our
God.
God is an awesome God. Why do
Okay,
We
all know
kind of
that?
did it in the round, like not like we did a round of it. You know what I
It
mean?
was
Like we
beautiful.
all started a different. It wasn't.
That is what a round is, and it was.
Yes.
In case you've been living under a rock, Harrison.
Katie, don't talk to them like that.
Harrison Butker he's a kicker for Kansas
City Chiefs.
Yes, and he spoke at the commencement ceremony for the Benedictine College Catholic school in Kansas. He gave this speech, this commencement address, that I truly, when I first watched it, it was like right when it came out, I didn't know where he was going to go. I was like, women have been lied to. I thought maybe he could be like, you are worth more than you think.
Like, should be an equal pay era.
Because my brain can't even go to the shit that he said.
Well, he said he was like, a lot of you women here today are thinking about your graduation and your diplomas and
Have been fed he said a lot to the women. You've been fed diabolical lies.
Yeah,
Lies.
because
I'm
he
sure
said
some of you are thinking about your careers and diplomas and promotions.
Do you know his mom?
I don't know why I have it memorized.
I
you
love
believe
that
in
you do.
it.
Well,
Is that your Halloween
secretly,
costume?
I'm one of the ones. Do you know he's got one of the top selling jerseys in the NFL today?
No.
And
of
I bought
course he
one.
does.
Oh my God. Wow. Is that for real?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so misogyny pays bills.
Oh, yeah, because people are just buying multiples of the jersey to show the support and all of that shit.
To be pieces of shit, to be honest.
Yes, 100%.
Do you understand what a fucking moron bitch you look like if you buy the fucking jersey of a kicker and you're not married to that man?
Yeah, who
Are you fucking out of your fucking mind?
Or his name's not Adam Vinatieri because Adam Vinatieri was really fucking good. But
I mean, we're not talking about him right now.
I loved how in a press conference, Mahomes was like, I don't really talk to him.
Of course not.
yeah, but okay, yes, and I saw that too, and I've seen I think Jason Kelsey said something, but I'm like, hey guys, you guys all have Twitter and social media and all of the above. Do you have anything else to say about this situation?
Speak up.
Because we're listening.
What does his mom have to say about it? Because she has a remarkably successful career. Physicist that works in Emory or Elon's oncology department.
Well, her being absent in his life because she was at her job clearly caused him great trauma, and therefore now he thinks women shouldn't have jobs.
Honestly, I'd watch that movie.
He
Funny,
said,
but I don't know what else to do.
no, it is. We have no choice but to roast his ass and laugh. He said something about pride, which I find important.
Okay, that's the thing I was going to say, is it was so fucking bad that the only clip we've seen is him saying women got fed diabolical lies, and he went on to talk about pride, abortion. He missed he had no notes.
He said
Zero notes.
he was talking about pride, and he said not the deadly sin sort of pride that has an entire month dedicated to it, but true God-centered pride that is cooperating with the Holy Ghost to glorify Him.
His ass looks like
Girly.
His Instagram is for the boys, honey.
It
This
looks like he
man's
was.
for the boys.
Who never
He
got-
looks like he was too creepy, so they asked him not to stay when they were looking for extras on Dawson's Creek.
Damn.
He looks like a WB era
Dawson's
AI.
Creek, if you will.
No, honestly, what year was Dawson's Creek? He was too gay for Dawson's Creek.
Okay, so here's another rumor.
Yeah, let's say Justine brought it up.
We didn't bring it up.
We didn't bring this up.
We shouldn't out people.
Harry,
Just kidding.
this isn't
Haley,
out-
we didn't bring it up.
The DMs are crawling with people. Not DMs. Harrison Butker's comment section is crawling with people saying that when he was at Georgia Tech, he was on the down low, meaning he was having sex with men.
I'm getting canceled, I think, after this.
Well, no, we're all getting canceled. Don't worry about that.
Yeah, I think the title of this episode is "We're Getting Canceled."
Oh, shit.
Yeah, no.
Well, I still have a
No,
job.
it's not,
or-
Haley.
No, it's not.
No, it's not,
No, it's
Haley.
not. A woman's most important title is homemaker.
And that's, honestly, okay, here's my honest take, is I personally didn't feel fulfilled until I became a wife and a mom and a homemaker.
I remember that about you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, speaking from experience,
It's what you lead with.
yeah. And I'm sure you guys have been sad because you guys are.
No, wait a minute. Well, I'm they, them only in public. And then I go home and I am she, her. And I make meals for my husband, Jonathan.
Jonathan.
And our 4
Jonathan.
children, Jonathan Jr., John, and Jonathan
Jonathan
Sr.
Jonathan Sr.
Yeah. It's spelled different.
Oh, okay.
Like Senor Frogs, because that's where he was born.
Wow, went into labor at senior.
Yes. Well,
That's what happens when you go once a week for happy hour.
when you're a homemaker.
you know,
We don't know what a
Yeah, how
homemaker
did you
is.
get to go to
No.
Senior Frogs? Shouldn't you have been cooking dinner?
Well, yeah, Jonathan left
Is Senior
me there.
Frogs a restaurant?
It's down in Mexico.
it's also in the Bahamas. You
It's
can go
also
to one
like at a
in-
mall in Florida. Isn't it?
Listen, all I know
Yeah.
is I went to one in the Yucatan Peninsula. I went down the slide into the ocean. I had had a lot of tequila. I had hooked up with a man at the bar. I went missing. I
I want
This
to go
was
to Senior Frogs.
last week too, which is what's so crazy about
That's
it.
actually the concerning part.
and none of this is a lie.
But was it Harrison Becker?
No, he's not into me because of my anatomy.
Yeah, he's more into men.
Man. I'm not outing him. This is a nuanced conversation. Listen. This is we're talking right now. A group of people that find no shame in being gay. What I find shame about is being gay, being queer, being bi, whatever, and not being able to be honest about that, and so punishing everyone else that you can about it. That's what I
Right.
find shameful, and so you lose a bit of the empathy. Like if you were closeted and you needed to stay that way, and you minded your fucking business, then it's none of my fucking business. You talk bad about my community, and I know that you were fucking some male cheerleaders down at Georgia Tech. Sure, it's my business.
Okay, all things considered, regardless, let's call that a rumor, right? Let's say it's
Yeah.
not true. As a husband, a heterosexual husband to a woman with children, a man, period. What you said is the diabolical thing. Like the diabolical lies are what you just spewed to a group of women who just got their degree. Like it's fucking wrong regardless.
Can you imagine being in that audience? And you're
No.
just sitting there, you're going to grad school in the fall, and you're like, wow, I guess I have to.
Actually, I would
Rethink
find it so
everything.
hilarious. I'd be like, wait till
Oh,
you hear
I would
about
be
the
laughing.
graduation.
I'm sorry. Can you imagine being in that audience and then a kicker for the NFL is there giving you a speech for fucking why? For
How
what?
much do you pay for that school? I need to see how much their tuition is because it better be free.
I
Katie's good
mean,
at this. Katie will do this fast.
imagine.
I
like,
love looking up tuition for schools.
where is Benedictine College?
So far, I just know Kansas,
Oh, it is in Kansas.
but I will. And it being Catholic, it's like, God, why so intense?
While we're here, I gotta get something off my chest.
Please.
It won't happen again. In fact, maybe I just shouldn't even play anymore. But I do play fantasy football, and in the past, Harrison Becker has been my kicker.
Oh my god.
Never again, never
now we
again,
are
never-
getting canceled, Justine.
Sorry.
So just imagine that we are your priests.
I'm sorry.
And you just went into confession.
Okay, this is hot. I'm loving this.
Okay.
You're naked, we're naked.
Okay, we're all naked. Father,
Ooh,
Father God.
It's daddy to you.
Daddy, I have a confession.
Yes.
Oh,
Oh, excuse me. Yes, my child.
I once drafted a player who said women should be homemakers, but that's okay, right?
Yeah, no, I love
It's the
that.
NFL.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah. You had.
What's the next?
I
thing?
can't,
no
I
other
can't
choice.
imagine a priest being like, that sucks. Like, yes.
Okay, to go to Benedictine is over $33,000
A year.
a year.
Yeah.
And you get this little asshole. In my mind, he's so small.
I'm honestly happy for them because here's the thing. I don't remember who spoke at my college graduation, and therefore, at least they have something to remember about their college
Hey,
graduation.
Hey,
that's
I love
huge.
that. I love you turning that into a positive because those graduates can be at a bar at any time. If there's
They have
nothing
a
to talk
great
about,
Story. Are you kidding me?
yeah, they're like, oh, where'd you go to school? Benedictine. Whoa, why is that ringing
She's
a bell
like, yeah, I
for
became
me?
the CEO of Google after Harrison Becker at my graduation told me I should be a homemaker. Like, it's great.
Yes.
So I guess we kind of owe Harrison Becker an apology.
All right.
That's what
Let's
I'm
buy
hearing now.
jerseys.
Let's buy jerseys.
Buy
They're
them.
on
Match
the
your
way.
hat.
Oh, my hat.
I love your hat.
I've been wanting to ask you all day where you got your hat because I freaking love it.
Justine, thank you for asking. This hat says, I made this hat with Official League. It
Oh, you
says-
made it.
I did. I made this hat with Official League. This hat says
fire.
violence. It is actual fire. It says violence on the top of it. I made it with Official League, who also designed Megan Rapinoe's hat and has a partnership now with the NWSL. And Official League helped me make this hat, which I absolutely love. We
We're
picked out all
actually
the
working
details
with
together.
them right now too.
Really? They're
Oh.
fucking awesome. They go through every piece of the hat is like super detailed. And on the 28th of this month, I'm selling 100 of these. It's just 100 of these are being made, and I'm absolutely in love with them. And then I go on tour. So this is like,
Oh my God.
Our
It's
little-
so exciting.
You're not taking them on tour, then you're only making 100.
no, we're only making 100. You can only get them on the official league website, and then they're gone.
Would you ever
Amazing.
do an alt color and sell them as merch on tour?
I want to do an alt color for, I want to make a Bloodshed Baby one, which is
Oh, yeah.
the EP that I'm about to tour.
Okay, we need to
Can I see
table
the
this
back?
strategy
Yeah.
so we can really surprise people with the merch.
Yeah, it's got a little boot on
Got my
It's
little
got the
boot over
loafer,
here. Got my
cowboy
little
boot.
clear
Yeah, is that
triangle
a
over here.
Kofor?
It's a Kofor.
I think it's a Kofor.
We can't do Kofor. I'm going to throw up.
Boot loaf.
Thank you, Bootloaf. All right, well, I think that's it.
Oh my God.
Thanks for listening, Justine. Thank you so much for being on the pod.
So fun. Thank you for having me.
Do you mind if we sing you a little outro?
And what
no.
outro are we singing?
We're going to
Time?
figure it out right now.
Okay.
And feel free to jump in whenever you want.
Okay.
Thank you for being here.
Being here.
That's all.
That's awesome. Follow us on Instagram and TikTok at JocularPod.
And please rate and review. Only 5 stars. The other options are fake.
They are fake. Okay, we have a very cool recent review from Duplodoc, and I'm sure I mispronounced it. Please leave me a voice
It's only
memo.
meant to be read.
Yes. And the review, if you were as lucky as I was and had the sweetest, gayest coaches growing up, you'll feel nostalgic and right at home. If you didn't, you'll feel healed.
Oh my God, that's about us.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
That's
And we
actually
spent like
so
the whole
sweet.
fucking podcast like fucking outing people. And like,
No, just, it's okay.
okay, sorry
This
guys.
one may never make it out.
Yeah, but you guys, we're a work in progress. You know, we're working on us all the time.
Without TN, who knows what we're going to say?
Rest in peace.
Okay, it sounds
Tian, I'm so sorry for
like
everything I
she's
did.
dead.
Well, I just can't see a good reason for missing the pod. We love hearing from you, jockstraps. Please email us at jocularpod@hyperobjectindustries.com. And remember to send us men to roast.
Okay, bye.
We love you. Bye.
Love you. Bye.
Jocular is a production of Hyperobject Industries with Meadowlark Media and was produced by Zaylee Mahone and Haley Fager. Original music and theme are by Nick Gage and ER Fightmaster. And our executive producers are Harry Nelson, Claire Slaughter, Dan Lebetard, and Adam McKay.